Welcome to the Last Awakening Warriors. I am your host, Joshua David, and I am here with Johnny Walker. And we got an exciting show for you tonight. Secondhand vape kills. So we had to do some gangsta on beat tonight. I feel like we're part of the cartel now. What's going on, Johnny?
Not much, man. Chilling with you for the last 2 hours.
Come on, dude. You're not supposed to tell people our secrets, dude.
Oh, not
Like
the
we
inside.
actually communicate.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Can't have that. Well, in that case, not much, man. Just chilling, having fun.
Oh, definitely.
Staying positive.
Definitely.
Staying positive in a crazy world.
For those people watching the show, yes, you are seeing that correctly. I have, in fact, lost some weight. That's it. I didn't do anything else.
That's it.
The beard just fell off by itself.
Yeah, it weighed about like 20 pounds. Like 20 pounds.
At least, right?
You know? He's going old school. That's all it is.
Oh, yeah. Every once in a while, I'll grow everything out and just let it be. And then, yeah, I can't stand it any longer. And then I cut everything. Keep it short again like I'm supposed to.
Yeah, I've never reached that point, like, to where, like, I hear that with people a lot. They're like, after a while, I just can't take it no more. Like, some people can't even grow a beard because they can't get past the initial itchy,
Yeah.
feel of it and stuff. I never had that, and like it could. I wish it was longer. I change it up because just sometimes, just nice to change it up. But I ain't went shorter than a goatee for probably 3 years.
Yeah, I do all kinds of stuff with my beard and mustache and stuff. So.
Yeah, I used to when I could see. I did a lot of different stuff. But anyway, girls got their makeup. All we got what? We got facial hair. That's all we got.
Come on, man. We got the dad bods, bro.
The dad bods? I got 5 dad bods, okay? I got 5.
Hey, man, you're not supposed to tell me how many bodies you have, dude. And no, we don't mean those types of bodies either. All you TikTok crazy people out there talking about bodies.
You're going to catch a body. Nope, that's not us.
No, they're talking about something else, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, to keep track.
Yep.
Keeping score. Yeah, used to be a notch on the bedpost, what they used to call it. Yeah, not like that. That ain't us. Nope. But, so how's the week gone, man? Like, we haven't talked.
Week's been pretty good. Got some good news on my shoulder. I'm about done with rehab.
Very cool.
They said I was pretty much the fastest improved person they've ever seen.
That's right on. Right on.
I was happy about that because I hate going.
I don't think it's a fun place for anybody because the reason why you're going is something went wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's not the actual activity. So I hate going up there. Like, Josh, prior to this existence, never liked cars anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't like traveling long distances. So me, I just don't like going. Like it's a waste of my time from how I see things.
Right. No, I get it. And like doctor's appointments.
But I have gotten a couple truths out of going, staring me in the face and everything. So I'm not saying there hasn't been positive things from going, because there has. There's definitely been, and I wouldn't change those for anything in the world. But it's I got to get up at 8. I got to get up at like 7:00 in the morning, and then those days I'm usually working nights, so I'm up from like 7 till at least 11. And then if we come on and do a podcast, I'm usually up till like at least 2. And then I got it the next day. Usually I got to get up and do it all over again. So I'm doing like 3 or 4 turnarounds, 8-hour periods. And those aren't good. And that's the part that I actually hate. It's not the physically getting in the car and going up there. It's getting up early. I despise it.
Yeah. I'm not a morning person at all. And so I totally get that.
Like I normally have one turnaround. It's Thursday to Friday. And then, now with doing the rehab, like last week I had 4 of them. No, I don't feel like doing nothing after that week, man. I didn't. So
yeah. Well, like you said, at least you got some truth out of it and stuff, so that made it a lot better.
Yeah.
So plus, there's you mentioned earlier you lost some weight, and no, it just wasn't the beard.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Well, I've been intermittent fasting, and which I absolutely love because it means I can eat whatever I want, and I'm still losing weight. Like my one meal a day that I eat, I usually eat about 2,300 calories, sometimes more, sometimes a little less, depending on the day. But I'm eating whatever I want, and I'm still losing weight. So,
yeah. Dude, people hear that and they're like, "There's no way," but sure enough, he's been doing it.
Well, your body switches over from using the sugar and stuff that's in your food, right? It'll pull out all the minerals and stuff, but then it switches over for energy. It switches over to your own body fat and ketosis. So, like I said, I've been doing about 23 hours a day. I think I average like 22 hours, like total for like since I started. So after 8 hours, when your body goes into ketosis, there's like 10 hours of your body just using its own stored body fat as fuel.
It's literally the benefits of the keto diet, but he actually gets to eat
whatever the crap I want.
Whatever he wants.
Now, some people are like, no, you can't do that. You can't eat what you want. You got to eat these certain things and all that stuff.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Like, I'm proof. I'm probably in the 380s right now. I haven't weighed myself in probably a few days. Last time I weighed myself, I was 396, and I'm probably in the 380s right now.
Yeah, and you were like 414.
Yeah, when I started. Yeah.
So that's amazing, and that's been not even a whole 3 weeks, I don't think.
It's not even been 2 weeks.
Yeah, isn't it crazy? So listen, if it works, it works. Can't argue with numbers,
right?
So I'm excited for you. We're talking about,
and I'm not just doing the eating thing. I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I'm not just doing the eating thing and then fasting. No, I'm also working out as well. So and then I'm also going to rehab. So I mean, literally, when I tell you Josh has not had time in the 2 weeks to do hardly anything, let alone do a podcast. Finding time to do this has been a struggle, for me, because like I didn't have all these things a month ago.
Right.
I wasn't getting up early. Like I dread getting up early so much. Like I would refuse to do a podcast just because I know I have to get up in the morning.
Yeah. Truth be told, though, like he still wants to do them.
All
really
the time.
Often.
All the
time. Yep. So
I've been trying to get you on here in a week, man. I'm like, come on, dude, we gotta do a podcast, man. We gotta do something, man.
I literally had not even noticed that our last video was like last Saturday, or
it was the 12th.
Okay, so it's been a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I didn't realize it. Like I had gotten so far behind on all kind of stuff. Like, we talk about how we usually watch our own video, at least once, because we get stuff out of listening back to it, right?
Yeah. Because
And
like when you're talking, sometimes I'm being told things from the
yep,
spirit of truth in me, and I don't
and vice
always
versa.
hear what
Hmm.
Johnny is saying. And sometimes I don't even
Yeah,
hear myself because the spirit's speaking to me. So, yeah,
yeah.
going back and
So
hearing the truths that are revealed in the context of the show is always awesome, and always get something out
yeah,
of them.
exactly. The same with me. It's like it's vice versa. Like, you're talking, and I'm already on what the Father's wanting to say, and as a response, and I
Right.
don't even realize that you said what you said.
Yeah. Same here.
But it's really cool though. So like the last few days, I've been catching up on the video we had with Brother Jeremy and Miss Cindy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff I've already ran across for like, Josh said that. Like, oh, I said that. What?
You said a whole bunch in those.
Yeah, I get it.
you
I get it. John talks
you
a lot.
you said a bunch in those videos.
Yeah, I noticed the one with Cindy that I did. I was just going and going and going. But that's what life is like now, right?
Oh yeah.
Because like even at that, I felt like I was using restraint. I was like, "What's Josh talking about? I ain't hardly talking." Like, but because you could just go and go and go and just not
Yeah.
stop, go and go and go.
Yeah, and
Like
it
as
kind
long
of
as
it kind of like you don't even know how much you're actually spilling into someone
no,
of truth.
no,
So,
and sometimes they got to shut you down. We were talking about that last night about only speak to the people that are open to hear it, right?
yeah,
Or
if
they'll
somebody's not open
trample
to
you.
hear what I have to say
Mm-hmm.
and the truth that's been revealed to me,
Yeah,
I don't even bother with them. And that's that I cannot force when we're going to get this is going to be about what the show's about, people. Secondhand
yep,
vape kills. And we're going to actually explain kind of what that actually means. And
mm-hmm.
so I cannot force someone to believe anything I say, nor
Yep,
would I want to, because I don't want someone to be me.
exactly.
I was created uniquely. I was created me. No one else can be me.
Nobody, nobody, and it's just in that way, like
I can only
getting to that.
spark the truth that's already in you, the memory of the
Yeah,
truth that's already in you, and
yeah. That's what.
that's what these shows are about. This is
Yeah, we're hoping that it's something we
this is
say.
not a religion. It's not a
No,
church.
for goodness sakes, think about that today. Like this isn't a religion, so we can say it all we want. People just don't believe it. But then again,
Because that's all they know. All they know is a church narrative where somebody told them all these rules and regulations
mm-hmm.
that they had to follow unless they were going to go to hell. That's
Well,
not what this is
listen.
about. This is about you taking back control of your life so you
Yeah,
can live the life that the spirit of truth in you is telling you to live.
and here's a point.
And that spirit of
I was.
truth, I want to make sure this is clear. That spirit of
Mm-hmm.
truth is holy. It is a non-sinner.
Mm-hmm.
And people might not understand what that means. It does not judge, and it only shows mercy.
Yep. Mercy and compassion
Well,
and
what are you
love.
saying? Are you holy? The spirit and truth in me is always holy. It cannot sin. It's impossible for righteousness to bear bad fruit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
Does that
oh
mean
crap! I lost
Josh?
what I was going to say.
Does that mean Josh doesn't sin? It depends on what your definition of sin is.
And your definition of who Josh is.
Exactly. Josh the soul, he does what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He does the desires of the soul.
Yep.
And this is the battle of not allowing the soul to run your life.
Exactly.
You have to have the spirit of truth awakened in you to run your
Mm-hmm.
life in the things that you do. That
You got to
doesn't
be in
mean
your
that we
kingdom.
don't step out of the kingdom. Jesus said he takes up his life and lays it down at will because it was given to him the authority to do so. He was talking about his physical life, the soul, the part of him that is corrupt, and the part that wasn't. So even in your own theology, where you think Jesus was this perfect thing his whole life, Jesus calls you a liar.
Yeah. And there's the circumstances.
And go look at the word soul. The word life he used there, soul.
Yeah.
Wasn't talking about his physical life, but that's all you can see because you can't see anything spiritual in your book.
No, and the part about, like, you know, the things we say we're not a religion, we're not a church. They don't believe it, but then if you look at what Jesus said, they don't believe anything he said either.
They don't believe a word Jesus said. But then they act like they do. But then when you tell them things that Jesus said, okay, Jesus said we were all gods. And if you go back to, like I said before, if you go back to Genesis 1, the original Adam was set up as the ruler over the whole earth, not just the garden. The gardener was the slave.
Well, plus the fact that we're an eternal being. We're an eternal being.
The true
what do you call
is
that?
eternal. Yeah, the true you is eternal. And this is what we're going to get into with the verses that we have today about the eternal being versus the non-eternal being.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this all goes back to Genesis and the breath of life that was put into you.
And literally, folks, just like almost every video, this came together off a simple word search. One word search. What's that mean there? Bam. All of a sudden, there's a whole message.
Yeah.
So it's not a struggle. There's no struggle in this. Like,
I don't have to wait 30 years to get one revelation from the Bible. I can just open it and see it. And it doesn't have to be the Bible.
Yeah.
If you think the Bible is if you think the Bible is the non error proof book of God, then why have they changed it for 2,000 years?
Yep.
Why does the King James Version read different than the NIV or the Young's literal translation? Oh, they didn't change nothing. They didn't change a word. Well, you know, your own book says if you did change a word, you'd be cursed. Well, look at the church. It's cursed.
Yeah, there's hundreds of translations right now.
What are you saying? The church is cursed?
Access.
Well, look at all the disease and sickness. Look at the divorce rates in the church versus not in the church. How can you say it's not?
The majority of the congregation poverty level when it comes to their economics.
The only people who have money is the people at the top.
Exactly.
Somehow they always have the money,
pastor,
right?
The pastor, the associate pastor, and the board.
Right.
That's usually your people that have the money of the church.
And everybody is poor bums trying to support them.
Yep. With a smile on their face.
It's ridiculous.
Yep. Well, let's get into this because this is pretty good. Come together real quick, and it's just, it just makes a lot of sense. As always, truth does make sense.
All right, let's go to, I don't know where we're going to start. Let's start here. Thus by their fruits you will recognize them. Let's see. Is that where we want to go first?
You already said it. Let's just run with it.
All right. So Matthew 7:20. So then by their fruit you will recognize them. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord. Let me go over to the next verse. Hold on. Not everyone says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the ones who do the will of my Father who is in heaven. We've said this 1,000 times on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Where's heaven?
Within you.
Oh, it's in you. So only those who do the will of my Father who is in heaven within me, they're in the kingdom.
Right.
But if you say, Lord, Lord, He's not going to take too kindly to calling him Baal. I can tell you that.
Nah, love definitely don't want to be called Baal.
Or Moloch.
Yeah.
Or Marduk. Or Diana. Or whatever other names or deities you want to call this same demiurge.
Right. Yahweh.
Yahweh. Matthew 7:22. This is why Jesus said, no one's seen my Father. Because it was within him. People seen Yahweh.
Yeah.
All the time. Many will say to me on that day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? What did 1 Corinthians 13 say? Anybody know?
1 Corinthians 13?
Yeah, I think it was 1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians 13 is the love chapter.
Yeah. What did it say? What did it say about prophecy?
Oh, prophecy will cease. Once you come into love and truth, prophecy will cease. Tongues will cease. Knowledge will cease. Yep.
Why would those things cease?
Well, they're no longer needed. Because you're in truth.
Was it
you
1
have everything
Corinthians
you
13?
need. If you're talking about the love chapter, it's 1 Corinthians chapter 13, yeah.
Let me go over there real quick.
It might have been the chapter before that mentioned that at the end of chapter 12, possibly.
No, I'm at 1 Corinthians 13. That's not it.
Look at the end of 12.
Nope.
I don't know. You probably have to look up the keywords then, because I ain't pulling it off the top of my head either.
Oh, okay. It starts in 4. That's why. All right. Do.
That's all right.
All right. Let's see here. Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Imagine that. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease.
Yep.
When you're truly in the kingdom, guess what? You won't be prophesying in someone's name anymore. It stops.
Yep.
What do you mean, Josh? What do you mean? The church does this all the time. Exactly. They're not in the kingdom.
Needed. Exactly. You ain't going to need to have a message in tongues.
These people who are saying this believe they were saved.
Yeah.
But their soul was saved. It wasn't preserved. You can't save the soul. You have to deny it to enter the kingdom. To go back to who you were formerly before you had your spirit of soul within you.
And real quick, if you look, it says love always preserves.
Always preserves.
Always preserves.
Imagine that.
So
when you lose your life for my name's sake, it will be preserved.
It doesn't, and love is the Father. The Father is love.
Yeah.
It doesn't say love always saves.
Nope, preserves.
It says preserves.
Same thing Luke said. Try to save your
you
soul, you're going to lose it. If you lose your soul, you will preserve it.
Preserve it.
If you denounce it, you will preserve it.
The Father in you, the love in you in your kingdom will preserve this soul that you have. And if you look at all these different things, the prophecy, the tongues, the knowledge, these are all ways to communicate something to somebody else. on the soul level. When you're in truth and you realize who you are, I don't need nobody telling me squat. There ain't a person here that can tell me anything. Josh can't tell me anything. The cool thing is Josh knows that.
Yeah.
Right? He could tell me about something the Father told him, and I could pick up a truth that resonated with me, like we always talk about. But he can't tell me nothing, and he wouldn't try.
I can't force you to be me.
Unfortunately, no. But unfortunately, in the church, that's all you got is people trying to make people be clones of them.
You have to follow these rules now.
And it's really interesting. So if
because
you think
someone else can't hold his liquor, that means I can't have a drink of wine.
Yep.
No. It's not how it works.
Not at all. It's crazy. It's on a whole nother level when you start looking at the things that the church gripes about people doing.
And this is why they can't comprehend this stuff, because it is something different. It's not rules. It's not regulations. It's not, that would be called works in the old covenant. All those works they had to do to be saved, like they had to go to the temple every year. Oh, you have to go to church every week to be saved. Well, you might get some people to say, oh, well, you don't have to, but it helps. What does it help? What does going to a building help?
It helps keep you
when the kingdom is inside of you.
Yeah, exactly. But it helps keep you indoctrinated. The more and more that we talk to people that ain't been in church, we notice if you're a constant churchgoer, you're losing your mind at the things we say. If you've been out of church for a while, or if you've never attended that much, so that indoctrination is not fresh, and that you're not bogged down with it every single week, you have a tendency to start hearing truth a little bit easier. So the whole act of going to these buildings, which Jesus never told you to build anyway, right?
Not once.
And actually, when he talked to Peter, he talked against that. So you're going to these places.
Come on, John, we got to build these monuments right here to worship what we've seen.
If this flesh that
worship what you saw. Imagine that. Got to worship those idols. Those physical manifestations.
Stuff in this 3-dimensional realm.
And you still don't get it.
And what did he say?
It's not about those things.
No, he said, remember what you saw. Go tell people. That's all he said.
Imagine that. Remember what you saw and go tell people what you saw.
What do we do all the time, dude? I see what the Father's sharing with me, and we tell people.
That's it.
That's all we're asked of. Love people.
This is the craziest thing, right? This is literally, besides the few people we've had on, and just for everybody's knows, we're going to have a special guest tomorrow. So if you're watching this now, we're going to have a special guest tomorrow, or whenever you're watching this, on Saturday, January 7th, or whatever day it is.
18th.
18th, yeah. January 18th. Yeah, I think I put 17th on the flyer, but whatever.
That's all right.
But January 18th, we're going to have a special guest. Around 5 o'clock is when we're going to do the video. It's already posted, and you should be able to see it if you're subscribed. If you're not, subscribe, and we're going to have a special guest. And we really like this individual. Yeah, we really like this individual, and we like the things he has to say.
Absolutely. So much of what he has to say resonates. I know with myself. And I know by talking to Josh, it does with him too. So much of it. Now, of course, we don't agree with everything, because you ain't going to agree with everybody on everything. You're in different places in your walk, right? And so, but it ain't to say that I ain't going to catch something that I don't see right now later.
Right.
So this brother has way too much truth. It's just coming out of his pores. So super excited about tomorrow.
All right, so finishing up the verse, did we not prophesy in your name? In your name did we not drive out demons? I don't know any non-Christians doing that stuff, do you?
That's the only ones doing it.
And in your name perform many miracles. All about those works, those miracle workers, ain't they?
Signs and wonders. Hurry, let's go to this one church, because I've heard
23.
people, they're like, I heard these people, there's healings there all the time. We need to go to that church.
Yep.
Seeking those signs and wonders.
Yeah. Yep. Then I will tell them plainly. This is key, people. I never knew you. Why? Because they were never preserved.
Never entered the kingdom.
Never entered the kingdom.
Yep.
These are people who thought they were saved.
Well, you ain't gonna enter the kingdom, Josh, until Jesus comes and raptures you and takes you home.
Yeah, the kingdom's inside of you, and you can enter it anytime you decide to leave the nonsense of this reality.
Wow. Well, that
stop believing the lies of this reality. Because it's the lies of this reality and everything in it that's lying to you, keeping you from entering.
Yep. And this isn't just the church when we're talking about the lies of this reality. It's every single aspect of this life.
Yeah, it's everything.
Is basically, it's
the
almost
word.
like an
the
imagination.
word there is for world in the Greek is actually cosmos. Literally, everything in this creation is lying to you.
Yep.
And that's what they don't understand. They want to believe, no, the creation is not lying to us. Well, then why did Jesus say you had to deny the world, which is the cosmos?
Yep.
Again, you don't believe a thing he said. Not one word do they believe. None of it.
Nah, it's proven over and over and over, too.
Away from me, you evildoers. Ooh, you lawless. You think you got all the rules and regulations and you're following them and you don't have none of them.
Nope. Because they failed to see the only thing that's really true, and that's to love people and find the kingdom.
Seek ye first the kingdom. Imagine that.
Yep.
Matthew 7:24. Therefore, anyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Are you hearing his words?
No, they're not. They know them. They like literally have them memorized, and they listen to the words spoken at church all the time, because people read what Jesus said at church, but they can't hear them. And we ain't talking about with these physical ears. We know that you like to only look at the physical. We're not talking about the physical ears. Jesus said all the time, let he that hath ears to hear and eyes to see, let him hear, let him see. It's the spiritual ears.
Yeah, I forgot to switch over. There's verse 24 and 23 and 24.
It's the spiritual eyes and ears that you need to see and hear with.
Yeah.
And they don't.
It's perception and understanding.
He says.
Perception and understanding. This is hearing and seeing. It's not hearing with your ears and seeing with your physical eyes. It's not physical.
And that's the reason why the things that we say drive people absolutely insane.
Absolutely insane.
We're literally watching people lose their minds.
We done a video, the 2 or 3 videos ago now, telling you exactly what happens when we talk to people who are deeply ingrained into the church narrative. What happens and how they act like.
Yep. we speak the words of Jesus, which is confessing Christ, speaking the same as.
Yep.
And every time, and we even talked to Jeremy about it. Like he sees it, right?
Yep.
He's starting to see it around him. And we told him beforehand, here's what we'll say. It'll be the words of Jesus, the words of Christ. And we're going to hear Paul. The rebuttal will be Paul every stinking time.
And when they can't handle the reality that they literally don't believe anything Jesus actually spoke,
yep,
it makes them go mad.
Start getting angry.
And they have to rebuild their temple, and they have to tear people down, and they have to do all these things to prove that they're right and everyone else is wrong.
They're the righteous one. Yeah.
And it's sad. It's absolutely sad.
Well, it goes back to the video we did with Cindy. They're the prodigal son. Or no, they're the son that stayed at home.
Stayed at home. Yep.
Yeah. They're sitting there.
Well, he actually didn't stay at home. He left and went into the field to do what?
Yeah.
Works.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing all these works the whole time, Dad.
Yeah. Why is he getting the celebration? Why does he get the killing?
Why didn't I get to go out and do this stuff with these women and my friends?
Yeah.
Like the prodigal son did. I'm jealous of him.
I wanted to look at. Never mind. I'm gonna say it.
Don't.
They want to be that person. They want to be the brother that went out and did these things.
Yeah, they're jealous. Why? Because they were scared to go live a life, for one.
Right.
Because they believe in eternal damnation forever, for eternity. So the fear that the devil gave them, yes, the devil gave you your fear. That's why you're fearful of going to hell. You have to keep the rules.
Because if you don't, you're damned. Why? Because somebody told you that. Because a man told you that.
And the second thing is that they would have loved to be pulled away by their own lusts. Their own lust. Like John said.
Yep.
No one puts a stumbling block in front of you. You are drawn away by your own lust.
Yeah.
So, we got verse 25. The rain came down, the streams rose. The wind blew, or the winds blew, and beat against the house.
Yep.
Yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rocks, or on the rock. Well, who's raining down torment, anger, vengeance, wrath?
Yahweh.
Then we have people blowing hard.
Blow hard. Brother.
And beating against and trying to beat down the house of the individual standing on the foundation, the true foundation, on the rock.
Yeah.
And yet,
truth.
He did not fall. He did not waver. But it's the one who isn't, is the one raging against those who are on the foundation and on the rock.
Yeah. That's what Yahweh wants. And these people in the narrative work for him.
It's the wind, right? It's the rain, but that's not where the voice of God is, right? It's the still small voice, just, like Elijah being in the cave. It's not in those things, and yet here they are again, Same patterns again. Then we got verse 26. But anyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. Well, you don't believe you're a God. And Jesus said in his own words, we were. He said he even told you in the Old Testament that you were. Yeah. But you don't believe the words he spoke. What's your foundation on then? Oh, you're a servant slave to a God who cares nothing about you. Nothing. Like Paul said, he was a slave to the Lord, right?
Yeah.
And so are you. But that's not the Father. That's not the true rock, the foundation.
Yeah.
Because you don't believe who Jesus told you you were. And until you stop believing that you're a slave, you're never going to find the kingdom. Because finding the kingdom is remembering who you are and who he told you you were. Go back to Genesis again. We were made the rulers of this earth. But yet your God doesn't restore you back to who you were, does he? You're still a slave. I'm not a slave. I know who I am. I know what the Spirit that was in Jesus told me I was. And I remember my rightful place. You don't. You got any words to add?
No, you were getting it. I was just letting you go. But it's true, you know. You do have a rightful place. Just like in the story of the prodigal son.
Again, he was restored.
The one that was stayed home, though, the kingdom's right there. He was in the kingdom. All you had to do was realize it. All you got to do is realize the kingdom's within you. It's right there. You just take your rightful place.
What did the Father say to him?
Which one?
To the one that stayed home, but, well, he stayed within the realm of the kingdom of his Father.
He's basically saying, like, what are you griping about?
Everything that I had was already yours.
Yeah, and always has been. Like, he's like, what are you even belly aching about?
Right?
Why are you worrying about what your brother's doing? You have everything already. Right? And the church and people even outside the church, everybody's always worried about somebody else. Oh, I got to pray for them. I'll pray for you. I hope that you get saved. I hope that you be like me, like I was trained to be. Like somebody told me how to do it the way I do it. And it has nothing to do with you. Quit worrying about other people. They're going to be fine. Right? We can speak our truth. The Father tells us. And we can't worry if they're going to accept it.
I don't.
And this didn't come like overnight to me. This was something, you know, that I've been dealing with.
Yeah.
Like, you know, especially when you have loved ones, you know, and you know, you have these attachments that are built over time. You know, you grow up in these what we call families, you know, and you build these connections, and you want so bad for them to see truth too, because you know how good it is. You know, so it ain't even coming out of a bad place, but you got to watch how you share, and make sure for like we were talking about earlier, that the people are open to hear, or else they're just going to stonewall you after a while. They're going to block it.
or
They're
trample
gonna
you.
stomp. Yeah, they're gonna stomp on the pearls, trample them under feet.
And rip you a new one.
Yep, and they do. Boy, they will. I put myself in the situation.
But
They
that's the
will
love
do
of
it.
Jesus inside of them telling them to do that.
Right.
No. So the main point that we actually want to point out in this, what we've been reading so far, is that this person said, I never knew you. I never knew you. And this is a key point that we're going to probably hit on tonight, at least one of them. The reason why he said he never knew you is frankly, you never existed.
Yeah.
Until you're in the kingdom, you never existed.
Yeah.
And we're going to get more into that with some of these other verses.
Yeah, because the Father's in the kingdom. The Father's in the kingdom.
Yep.
If you don't enter your kingdom, how's he going to know who you even are?
He doesn't. You never existed.
He don't mess with this realm.
And we're going to get into that with the next verse, here in Mark. This is Mark 12:26. And let's see here. Let me share on my thing. Yep. Okay. Now, but the dead, about the dead rising, that you have that you not read in the book of Moses, in the account of the burning bush, how God said to him, I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Now I want you to listen to this. He is not the God of the dead. All those men died.
Yep.
Abraham died. Isaac died. Jacob died. So here you have, and Jesus said, my father's not the father of them. They're all dead.
Yep.
Why? None of them were in the kingdom. Plainly put. None of them were.
And without entering the kingdom, you're dead.
You're not preserved unless you're in the kingdom. Your soul is not preserved unless you're in the kingdom. In other words, you never even existed.
Yeah.
You're what's called dead. He's not the God of Isaac, Abraham, and Jacob. He's the God of the living.
The God of the living.
Badly mistaken.
Back to the prodigal son story. What do you say when the prodigal son came back? For my son was dead, and now he's alive.
He's alive.
Now he's known. Now he ain't going to be told to depart
from me. When he left his soul and returned back to his Father within him,
yep.
Now he's the son again. Now he's restored.
Yep.
But the God of the living, you are badly mistaken. Yet you believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Yahweh.
Yeah.
Yet, here again, Jesus telling you, that's not my Father. James 4:14. Why? You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes.
Yep. You're but a vapor.
What does that word mean? Mist. Breath. Breath of life. The one Yahweh gave you.
The soul.
The soul.
Yeah. And that soul ain't going to last very long.
Nope.
It's only here but a time.
And vanishes.
But the real life in the kingdom
is eternal.
The love that's in you is forever. Is forever.
Imagine that.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah 2:22. Stop trusting in mere humans.
Oh, this is the
what
one.
have we told you guys forever?
This is good.
What we've said forever.
Man.
No man can tell you anything.
Yep.
It has to resonate within you already.
Yep.
Truth. So if you've ever learned from a man, get ready for this one. Who have but breath in their nostrils. Fleeting. Here for a little bit and gone.
That breath that Yahweh breathes into their nostrils, right?
Why hold them in esteem?
Don't look up to them. You can't trust them. All men are liars. It's saying it.
And it's
right there.
And we say this all the time. You have to listen to the spirit of truth that's within you, that you were given when you came into this reality. That's the only thing you can listen to. Anything else is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
And any man telling you they have something or knowledge that they can impart to you for you to be saved is a liar.
Mm-hmm.
Psalms 144:4. They are like a breath. Their days are like a fleeting shadow. Not very long. Psalms 78:39. He remembered that they were but flesh, a passing breeze that does not return. Wait a minute. Jesus came back in the flesh, Josh. So David was a liar? God who told him to write this was a liar? No, it passes away and it's done.
Yep. This flesh suit I'm in right now, this flesh suit has one trip. One trip.
I'll read that again so you understand. The book that was written first, Psalms. He remembered that they were but flesh, a passing breeze, just like the life that's in you, the breath of life, the vapor, this existence, but does not return. Imagine that.
Yep.
But you keep looking for your Jesus that you have a picture of him on your wall.
That's right.
The kingdom's within you. Psalms 39:5. You have made my days a mere handbreadth. The span of my years is as nothing before you. Everyone is but a breath, even those who seem secure or saved.
The people that think they're righteous, that think they got it going on.
If you don't denounce the breath that Yahweh gave you, that you're living out of because you left the kingdom when you was younger, you're not secure. You're not preserved. You have to return to the kingdom. and this is the one that had the extra verse too. Let's see. 39:6. Surely everyone goes around like a mere phantom. Oh, wait, Jesus wasn't a phantom when he came back. We weren't phantoms. I've been told this. We weren't phantoms. Here it is, David saying it.
Yep.
But you believe that I was wrong when I said that. In vain they rush about heaping up wealth without knowing those it will fully or finally be. You're running around living your life in this existence, storing up truths that you think are true.
Yep.
Your little rituals that you have every Sunday, every Wednesday.
And doing it in vain.
And doing it in vain.
Out of vanity. They're prideful about all that they have learned from a man. They came from Yahweh, right? They're proud of all that riches that they hold dear, just like the rich man. I kept all these rules. I'm proud of keeping all these rules.
I was out here working in this field for you, Dad, all these years.
Yep.
I've been doing kingdom work.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't been doing nobody's work.
It's all for nothing.
And so prophecies here in 1 Corinthians 13 again. Love never fails, but prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 3 things the church thinks they have. Bloop. Yep. Bye.
Yep.
Fleeting, pointless, meaningless things, prophecy, tongues, and the knowledge you think you have. Because the only thing that never fails is love.
Yep. All those things are pointless.
I remember telling someone, love conquers all.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. They didn't like it when I said that.
No, I don't think they believed it either.
Nope, sure didn't.
Yeah.
Sure didn't.
So, is that all the scriptures?
That's all the ones we have, unless you want to talk about something else.
No, I'm just going to talk about even just put the title together. Secondhand vape kills.
Yeah.
And normally this is something that Josh messes with me because I use vaping to quit smoking cigarettes. He's giving me crap forever.
Dude, I've been saying this for, 2 years now? Secondhand vape kills. Laughing every time I say it, too. It's so funny.
Yeah. Because he's making fun of, like, not me, but the political narrative. Not much different than the church.
Well, they're saying it's the same as smoking, so second-hand smoke kills, whatever. So
yeah. So, but if you look at that with the perception that we've laid out tonight, secondhand from someone else.
Yeah,
we talk about it in the scripture. Yeah, from someone else, and these are secondhand truth, which aren't true at all.
No, secondhand vape, breath.
Yeah, breath, exactly. The breath
you got from Yahweh, secondhand. Mm-hmm. He breathed into your nostrils, and you became a living soul.
Plus, these truths, supposed truths taught in the church and the narrative, come from another man that you hold in esteem.
That's a secondhand vape.
That's a secondhand. And how many generations passed it down?
Quadruple hand vape.
Jeez. It's getting real stupid.
And
you know what?
At the end of the day, it all comes from Yahweh anyway, right? So it's still secondhand vape.
you know what? You passing vape to one person to another person. These flavored vapes I vape on, they ain't gonna be too tasty if you pass it down that far. There's gonna be no savor in that. It's not savory at all.
Not only that, right? So you have secondhand vape, right? You have secondhand vape from the church. You have secondhand vape from Yahweh, right? You have the second somewhat existence when you leave the kingdom and you're living out of this fleeting life, this vapor.
Yeah, the soul. Yep.
Out of your soul.
It
wasn't what you had at first. It's secondhand.
Yep.
It's the left hand, not the right hand.
Yep. You know what I'm talking about, like the.
And at the end of the day, what does secondhand do? Secondhand vape do? It kills you. Because it already did kill you.
Put you down.
It already killed the real you.
So, wow, we have a title that really made a lot of sense, too. It fit.
Well, you don't think my titles make a lot of sense? Come on. The number one way to become rich was really good.
Dude, no. This was not only clickbaity, but it actually fit really well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
And so this was a good one, man. This came from...
He says that every video, guys. Don't believe him.
No, it's true. Tomorrow I'll say it again.
It was the best one ever, dude.
It's the best one ever. So, but this came from like literally, well, what do you want to talk about tonight? Let's do a video. What do you talk about? Can't think of nothing.
Right.
Brother Good News had talked about what it meant for Peter to be walking on water, or Jesus to come walking to him on water, and what the wind was. And I was like, only thought that could pop in my mind. I wonder what the real meaning of vapor. Josh looks it up. Breath. Oh, the breath of life. And there you go.
Yeah.
There's now a whole message on it.
And the other verses we had too, stuff we were talking about.
Yeah, stuff that you read last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tying all that stuff in about like this life and this existence, and that your soul is nothing. It means nothing. It's not even remembered. And the reality is, until you find the kingdom, you never existed. He
don't know you because you didn't know him. You obviously did not know him, or else you would have entered the kingdom. You would have entered it if you knew him. Jesus talking to the Pharisees. If you know the Father, you know he's in me. If you hear me, you hear the Father. But you don't know none of that. You ain't got the Father in you. You have no truth in you.
You're not in the kingdom. You know nothing.
Because you're not in the kingdom. Exactly. Seek ye first the kingdom and its righteousness, and all the other stuff, no need to even worry about it. It'll be added.
That's interesting. We'll have to talk about that after we get off the air tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got something pretty cool.
All
something
right.
I was talking about earlier before the show started. We'll probably end up doing a video on it too.
Oh, as usual. We've got it. There's a giant stack of stuff that's going to be a video. Even though tonight when you say, well, you would do a video, couldn't think of nothing.
Nah, nothing seemed to fit.
Just vapor.
Right. And for those out there, yes, I do have my favorite shirt on. It's Karate.
Right on.
My favorite wrestler right now.
Karate and a bald face.
Well, I got some stubble, but I mean, it's real short.
Right.
Anyway, you're done, Johnny. Finally talking. I'm done.
Dude, I let you go on tonight. Like,
whatever.
Purposely, I heard myself talk way too much the last video, so I've been Pretty chill.
So for those who've waited till the end of the video, I just want to say we will have good news on tomorrow on our show. Special guest, good news. We'll be here on the podcast around 5 o'clock is when we're scheduled to do the show. Hopefully everything lines up with that. And comment, like, and subscribe.
I'm gonna
push the notification bell.
I'm gonna ask him for permission to call him by at least his first name. So I'm
still gonna call him Good News. Mr. News. Mr. News.
Mr. News. That's funny. Mr. News, or can I call you Good? Okay. I hope he can deal with us. We're a little silly.
You're silly.
Yeah, listen. I admit my thing. I am. Happy to be so. Thank you. Like Josh said, like, share, subscribe. We're getting a lot of views, like we mentioned last time. We're starting to get a lot of views. If you had somebody else that subscribed here recently, thank you for subscribing.
Yeah, we did.
If you're listening
to subscribe. So.
Yep. If you're listening to the videos but you're unsure, go ahead and subscribe. You can unsubscribe later if you decide that, man, I can't stand these two dudes. They're horrible. Whatever. You can unsubscribe, but I'm telling you, if you listen and you're open and you're open to perceive things a little bit different
inside of you.
Absolutely.
Get out of that head knowledge. That's what kills you.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't understand what that means, your heart has its own brain, and it's 5,000 times more powerful than this one up here.
And it actually mentions it in the Bible. As a man thinketh in his heart.
In his heart.
So he is.
So he is.
What? Your heart can think? Yeah, it's got a brain.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Are you done now? Can we close out?
Let me see. Yeah, take it away. I'm good.
We would like to thank you for watching Last Awakening Warriors podcast. I am your host, Joshua David, with my cohort, Johnny Waka Waka Waka. Waka. And as always, do the will of your Father within